Hello learners, I am Dr. Pradesh Satadekar, Assistant Professor in Chemistry at HPSM's Ganpat Pasekar College of Education, Harmal, Goa. I welcome you all for this Chemistry Competitive Exam Excellence MCQ Solver course. In this particular module, we will be discussing problems related to coordination chemistry. So let us take the first question. So the first question is, in coordination compound hexamine nickel to chloride, the primary valence of nickel is. So we have these four options with us. So let us go to the solution. So students, we know that as per the Werner's theory of coordination compound, for a central metal ion, the primary valency means the oxidation state. So that means for this particular coordination compound, we have to find out the oxidation state of nickel. Now let us say the oxidation state of nickel is X. So we get this particular equation. So here X is the oxidation state of nickel. Then we get 0 into 6. 0 because we know that ammonia is a neutral ligand. So it has a 0 charge and there are 6 such ligands. So 0 into 6 plus minus 1 into 2. Minus 1 because we know that Cl is an anionic ligand and it has a charge of minus 1 and there are 2 such ligands. So it becomes minus 1 into 2. However, I would like to bring to your notice that here the Cl is not a ligand because it is outside the coordination sphere. Overall, my compound is neutral and hence we put this entire equation equal to 0. So when we solve this, we get X is equal to 2. That means my nickel in this case is in the +2 oxidation state. So here the correct answer is A, that is 2. Now let us take the second question. The question is, which of the following is not a coordination compound? And we have these four options with us. So let us go to the solution. Now in this case, the last three options, these all are the examples of coordination compound. So the important point to keep in mind over here is that a coordination compound need not be always expressed in square bracket. We can express coordination compound in this way also. Now the first option which we see over here is not a coordination compound. It is a Mohs salt, which is an inorganic compound, and it is classified as a double salt of ferrous sulfate. So you can see that here we have ferrous sulfate and ammonium sulfate. So here the correct answer is A. Let us go to the next question. So the question is, the oxidation state of nickel in tetracarbonyl nickel 0 is. So we have these options with us. So again, let us say the oxidation state of nickel over here is X. And so we get this particular equation, X plus 0 into 4. Now 0 because we know that carbonyl ligand is a neutral ligand and there are 4 such ligands, and that is why we get 0 into 4. And overall the complex is neutral, so we put equal to 0. When we solve this, we get X is equal to 0, and hence in this case the correct answer is A, that is 0. The next question is, the IUPAC name of the following coordination compound is. So we have these four options with us, and we can see that in each option they have given the oxidation state of the central metal ion, that is Fe, into the brackets. So that means our first task would be to find out the oxidation state of Fe. So here again let us say the oxidation state of Fe is X, and then we get this particular equation. So we get 1 into 4. Now 1 into 4 because potassium has a charge of +1 and there are 4 such potassium ions. So we get 1 into 4 plus X plus minus 1 into 6. We know that cyanide is an anionic ligand, so it has a charge of -1 and there are 6 such ligands. Overall my compound is neutral and hence we put equal to 0 and we get X is equal to 2. That means my Fe over here is in the +2 oxidation state. Now students, if I take this coordination compound and if I dissolve it in a suitable solvent, it will dissociate to give me 4 potassium ion and the corresponding complex ion. Now, whenever we are naming a coordination compound, we always name the cation first and then we name the anionic complex ion. Now within the complex ion, we name the ligand first and then we name the metal ion. and hence the name of this one would be potassium hexacyanoferrate 2. Hexacyano because there are 6 cyanide ligands, and 2 because the oxidation state of Fe is +2 OH. So the correct answer over here is A, that is potassium hexacyanoferrate 2. Now students, some of you might ask me, why not C? Why can't I name this as tetrapotassium hexacyanoferrate 2? It is simply because when I say that there are 6 cyanide ligands and the oxidation state of Fe is +2, it is understood that there are 4 potassium ions. Hence, we do not use this name, that is tetrapotassium hexacyanoferrate 2. So the correct answer over here is A. The next question is, the IUPAC name of this coordination compound is, and we have the 4 options with us, and again you can see that in each option they have given the oxidation state of nickel in the brackets. So that means our first task would be to find out the oxidation state of nickel. So we have already solved this in the previous example, and we know that here the nickel is in the 0 oxidation state. So we know that within the complex we always name the ligand first and then we name the central metal. So the name of this one will be tetracarbonyl nickel 0. Now one thing we should keep in mind that here the complex is neutral. Okay, it does not have any charge, and that is the reason we cannot call it as tetracarbonyl nickelate 0. Students, you see that in the previous example, here we can see that my complex ion has a charge of -4, so it is an anionic complex, and that is the reason we call it as ferrate and we don't call it as ion. Okay. However, over here in this case, we can see that my complex does not have any charge, as a result of which I have to name it as tetracarbonyl nickel and not tetracarbonyl nickelate 0. Okay. So here the correct answer is tetracarbonyl nickel 0. Let us take the next question. So the question is, the conversion of this particular coordination compound to this one involves dash electrons. So we have these 4 options with us. So students, again the first task over here would be to find out the oxidation state of Fe in both the coordination compound. So we can see that in the first coordination compound the oxidation state of Fe is +3, whereas in the second coordination compound the oxidation state of Fe is +2. That means my Fe is going from +3 to +2 oxidation state. So if I want my Fe to go from +3 to +2 oxidation state, this Fe +3 ion should gain 1 electron. Okay, and hence the correct answer is D, that is gain of 1 electron. Let us go to question number 7. The question is, linkage isomerism is shown by which of the following coordination compound? So we have these 4 coordination compounds with us. Now students, before we go into detail of this, we need to understand the isomerism in coordination compounds. So in coordination compounds, the isomerism is classified into 2 types. One is structural isomerism, other is stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism is further classified into ionization, hydrate, coordination, linkage, coordination position isomerism. Stereoisomerism is further classified into geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Now it is important to understand the difference between structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Now in the case of structural isomerism, the 2 coordination compounds have the same molecular formula. However, the way the atoms are joined or bonded together is different. In the case of stereoisomerism, the 2 coordination compounds have the same molecular formula. Now in this case, the joining also is the same. However, the spatial orientation, the way the molecules or the atoms are oriented in the space is different. Now since in this particular question we are talking about linkage isomerism, let us go into the further detail of linkage isomerism. So students, you will come across some ligands in which there are more than one donor atoms. Okay, for example, if we consider this NO2 minus ligand, in this particular ligand, this nitrogen has a lone pair of electron and this oxygen also has a lone pair of electron. So what can happen is the linkage can happen through this nitrogen, or it can also happen through this oxygen. And these types of ligands gives you something called as linkage isomerism. This you can very well see over here. So we can see that in the first example, the linkage is happening through the nitrogen. So nitrogen is giving its lone pair of electron to the central metal ion, and in this case, the linkage is happening through oxygen. That is, oxygen is giving its lone pair of electron to the central metal ion. So here the correct answer is C. So you can see that in all the other examples, you do not have any ligand with more than one donor atom. However, in this case, that is example C, you have NO2 minus as a ligand, wherein I have more than one donor atom, and hence it will give rise to linkage isomerism. Let us go to question number 8. The question is, which of the following complexes is optically inactive? And we have these options with us. So let us go to the solution. Now students, whenever you look for an optical activity in any molecule, you should look for the plane of symmetry. If a molecule does not have a plane of symmetry, that means the molecule will have non-superimposable mirror images, and hence the molecule will be optically active. However, if the molecule has a plane of symmetry, then the molecule will be optically inactive. So let us take the first example. So you can say that in the first example, the geometry is octahedral, the coordination number is 6, and we can see that this molecule does not have any plane of symmetry. That means it will be non-superimposable on its mirror image, and hence it will be optically active. Let us take the second example. In the second example also, the geometry is octahedral, and here also we can see that the molecule does not have any plane of symmetry, and again it will be optically active. Now here I have two isomers, that is cis and the trans isomer, and let us go to each one of these one by one. So here you can see that this is a cis isomer, and we can see that the two chlorine atoms, they are adjacent to each other, and here also we can see that there is no plane of symmetry, as a result of which this one will be also optically active. Now let us go to trans isomer. Now in the trans isomer, we can see that the two Cl atoms, they are in the trans position to each other, and hence here I can find the plane of symmetry. Now because I can find the plane of symmetry, okay, they will be superimposable on its mirror image, and hence they will be optically inactive. So here the correct answer is B. Let us take the next question. The next question is, which of the following complexes can in theory have meridianal and facial isomers? So again here also we have the four options with us. Now students, the first thing which we should know is that in coordination compound, meridianal and facial isomerism is shown by octahedral complexes of the type Ma3B3. So you can see that these are the octahedral complexes of the type Ma3B3, and the first one will be my meridional isomer and the second one will be facial. Now the question is, how do I know that my first one is meridional and second one is facial? So for that, what we should know is, we know that in an octahedron there are altogether 8 triangular faces. Okay, so on top there are 4 triangular faces, and below also there are 4 triangular faces. So 4 plus 4 total 8 triangular faces. Now what happens is, in the case of facial isomers, okay, the same ligands, okay, they are on the triangular faces. So we can say that, let us say these are my A ligands, so they are present on the triangular face. Similarly, my B ligand are also present on the triangular face. Now in the case of meridional isomer, you can see that the like ligands, they are not present on any of the triangular faces. And hence the correct answer over here is B, because here it is an octahedral complex of the type Ma3B3. So learners, I thank you very much for your kind attention.